Kenyan coffee bears a premium tag world over and is among the most sought after by international buyers due to its high quality, rich taste, and aroma. However, 2020 has been a challenging year for coffee sector as prices fell and demand subsided on account of buyers scaling down orders or cancelling them altogether due to the coronavirus pandemic that continues to hold the world at ransom. 15 kilometers from Nairobi Central Business District is a century-old coffee estate which continues with the tradition of producing high-grade coffee surrounded by newly built apartments which have since replaced the old fertile coffee farms. Fairview Coffee Estate stands still on a 250 acres piece of land.
On production area, we usually produce like around 80 tons of coffee, that is 80,000 kilos of coffee in a year. But we can manage even to produce more than that. Our production, it is based on the good crop husbandry that usually follows, all the way from harvesting, all the way from production. When we have the flowering, when they come, we usually give the best practices for pruning. We do some weeding, we do fertilizer application, and all those considered together, that is how we end up getting the best crop at the end of the year.
Fairview Coffee Estate is among a handful of producers of specialty coffee which have been known to fetch higher prices on the international market. However, many farmers have been forced to abandon coffee, opting for other crops due to high cost of production and dismal earnings, while others cut the coffee trees and turn their farms into real estate.
For us as Fairview Estate, one thing that has made us to be consistent in coffee farming is that we usually do the best practices for our coffee to be sustainable, and then we practice all the necessary practices so that our coffee can be profitable. If, for instance, you can leave your coffee, you abandon from doing all the right practices that are supposed to be done, at the end of the day, you won't be in a position to make profit. And for us to maintain our coffee, we have our coffee experts that are CMS, Coffee Management Services. They are the ones who usually offer day-to-day running of all the activities that we do have.
And while some abandon coffee farming, the estate has adopted value addition to incorporate tourism as part of its strategy to increase sales and make extra income amid the health pandemic that either saw buyers cut orders or cancel them altogether. The estate prides itself as a specialty coffee producer, exporting 80% of its highest grades, AA, AB, and PB, already roasted to buyers in Europe. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, which had dented prices mid-2020, prices have firmed up in recent months. By mid-December, a 50-kilogram bag of grade AA was selling at $351, AB at $324, and PB at $313 at the Nairobi Coffee Exchange. The coffee trees, which have had their roots in the ground since 1909, are attended to using organic methods and are cut after every 5 years to grow a new stem, which matures in 2 years. Upon maturity, the coffee cherries are meticulously picked by hand by a group of women who are paid 120 shillings per bucket of cherries.
When you produce the best coffee, premium grades, that is AA, AB, and PB, when you have more of this kind of coffee, whenever it gets into the market, definitely the prices will be good. Because in the market, what drives the income is the quality. So mostly we encourages or usually follows the quality issue so that we can be in a position to produce the best quality. Like, for example, for the last season that we had, 80% of our coffee was the premium grades, and that made us get better prices in the market, because market is being driven by the quality.
In 2019, the farm received 12,000 visitors, with the number expected to be higher by the close of 2020. Visitors at the farm are taken through the coffee milling process from farm to picking of the cherries, sorting, grading, roasting, and even get to taste various grades of coffee.
We do educational tourism, so when tourists come to the coffee farm, we tell them about the history of coffee in Kenya, we show them how we grow the coffee, our sustainable practices, how the coffee is roasted. They go through a tasting process, so they get the knowledge and they also get to know. So that way they are able to know about the coffee and even know about us. So we also promote local consumption. Then the other thing we do is that when we roast the coffee locally and it's good, and it's easily available and it's good quality and premium quality, then at least now they get to enjoy coffee. So they get to enjoy coffee, so that way we are helping to boost local consumption of coffee. The other thing we do as Fairview Coffee Estate is host a Kahawa Festival. 1st of October is International Coffee Day. So it's a day to celebrate coffee. So we celebrate the day by doing campaigns around coffee in the month of October and host Kahawa Festival here at Fairview Coffee Estate. So we host the event by during the event, we show people different ways they can brew coffee at home. We just create a happy and adventurous vibe around coffee, and mostly we campaign it around to the locals to at least help boost local consumption of coffee.
In 2019, the country produced 45,000 metric tons of coffee, with export earnings amounting to 16 billion shillings. While smallholder farmers under cooperative movements account for the largest share of total production, coffee estates have better yield per hectare at 543.2 kg compared to 347.4 kg for the estates. Out of the total coffee produced in 2019, cooperatives produced 30.9 thousand tons on 90.8 hectares compared to 14.1 from the estates, which occupy 25.4 hectares.